All right, everyone, get ready. Costs. Today we are tackling something a lot of you have been asking about.
Oh, yeah.
Snoring and sleep apnea solutions.
Big topic.
It is, and we like to go deep. So
Always.
we're diving into this article called The Easy 3 Minutes Exercises That Muffled My Horrendous Snoring and Sleep Apnea.
Okay.
And what really got me, I think, was, aside from just like the medical stuff, was the personal story of the author.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like this guy almost got divorced because
Yeah.
the snoring was so bad.
Wow. That's
Yeah. So we're talking
serious strain.
serious strain on the relationship plus all the health risks that come with it.
Right. And it's interesting how that article really brings those two pieces together, the science
Yeah.
and the human impact, because like you said, we just kind of brush snoring off as like,
It's like a joke.
yeah, it's funny. Haha,
Quirky little thing.
But the reality is it affects so many people.
It does. Like, I
Like
think...
it's like half of all men
Woody.
and like a third of women snore.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
And it makes you think about how many times you've heard someone say, oh, he's just a snorer.
Totally.
And everyone just kind of laughs it off. But this article really points out that it's not a laughing matter.
Yeah.
Like it lists all these potential consequences,
Scary ones.
Yeah, heart problems,
Diabetes.
increased risk of accidents.
Yeah.
It's serious.
It is serious.
And it all comes down to the fact that when you're snoring, or especially when you have sleep apnea,
Right.
you're basically starving your body of oxygen during the night.
Really?
And that lack of oxygen can really impact your whole system.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so then you get all these other problems,
Cascading problems.
Yeah, and even potentially scary things like Alzheimer's.
Wow.
So it's not something to ignore.
And the author's story, I think, is a perfect example of how desperate people get for a solution.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he tried everything.
Sprays, pills.
You name it. He was even thinking about surgery.
And that's what happens so often, right? People jump from one quick fix to the next, spending tons of money and time.
Totally.
And they don't really address the root cause.
No, they don't. And this is where the article takes a really interesting turn.
Okay.
The solution came from the author's wife.
What? His wife?
His wife. And you're not going to believe this. She was a singer.
A singer?
Yeah, and a vocal coach.
Oh, wow.
So she knows a lot about breathing.
Of course.
And she realized that her husband's weak throat muscles
Okay.
were actually a big part of the problem.
Interesting.
So she used her knowledge of vocal training to develop these exercises.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a great example of like cross-disciplinary thinking.
It is a light bulb moment.
Right. Yeah.
And here's the thing. There isn't just one type of snoring.
Oh.
The article breaks it down into 5 distinct types, each with its own cause. So a one-size-fits-all approach
Isn't gonna work.
doesn't work. You need to figure out what the root of your problem is. So, for anyone listening who is interested in figuring out what type of snorer they are and exploring some of these personalized solutions,
Yeah.
you can head to the official website of the Stop Snoring and Sleep Apnea Exercise Program. The link is down in the description below.
Great.
So let's dive into these 5 types of snoring consent. Knowing your type is the first step to actually fixing the problem.
Absolutely. Let's
Okay.
do it. Welcome back, everyone, to our deep dive on snoring.
We are ready to get into the nitty-gritty of it.
Yes. So before we jump into these different types of snoring, I just want to emphasize, this isn't just about noise.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what's happening in your body
Right.
and potentially uncovering some underlying health issues.
Exactly. So let's unpack these 5 types of snoring. What's the first one?
All right. So the first culprit we've got here is what the author calls throat clamping down.
Okay.
So imagine your throat muscles are like a drawstring bag.
Okay.
When you sleep, that drawstring tightens, constricting your airway. And that causes those vibrations we hear as snoring.
Oh.
And this type is often linked to sleep apnea,
Oh, wow.
where your breathing actually stops and starts repeatedly.
So your throat is like literally closing up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, that's scary.
It can be.
What about the other types?
All right, culprit number 2, your tongue.
My tongue.
Yeah, it might sound funny,
Okay.
but when you lie down, your tongue can relax and slide back into your throat,
Oh,
partially blocking your airway.
I can see how that would make some noise.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we've got the throat, we've got the tongue.
Up next, we have narrow nasal passages. This can be caused by a deviated septum allergies or just the natural shape of your nose.
Interesting.
Think of it like a traffic jam in your nostrils.
Okay.
When that airflow is restricted, you're more likely to breathe through your mouth.
Right.
And that is a major contributor to snoring.
Gotcha. So it's not always the throat.
Not always, no.
What else can cause all this racket?
Well, believe it or not, tension in your jaw.
Really?
Yeah, stress, teeth grinding. Or even a misaligned jaw can cause your jaw muscles to tighten,
Interesting.
narrowing your airway.
Okay.
And that contributes to snoring.
Wow. I never realized how many different things could be at play.
It's quite a few.
Okay, so we've got the throat, tongue, nose, jaw.
What's number 5?
What is number 5? What is the 5th culprit?
The soft palate, that's
Yeah.
that fleshy area at the back of the roof of your mouth.
Right.
If it's too wet or unusually large, it can vibrate during sleep and create that snoring sound.
So it's like a little flag flapping around back there.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And interestingly, this is one of the most common reasons people get surgery.
For snoring.
Yeah, to correct snoring,
Wow.
even though the author argues that it's often unnecessary.
Oh, interesting. Okay, but this brings up a key point.
Yeah.
You have to figure out which type of snoring you have
Yes, absolutely.
before you try any solution.
A cookie-cutter approach just won't work.
Nope.
That's where this personalized approach of the Stop Snoring and Sleep Apnea Exercise Program really shines. By pinpointing your specific type of snoring,
Yeah.
you can target the right muscles and address the root cause.
Love that. Okay, so now that we know what we're dealing with, let's talk solutions.
Right.
What are these targeted exercises all about, and how do they actually work?
Okay, so the exercises are designed to strengthen and tone the specific muscles that are involved in breathing.
Okay.
For example, if your snoring is caused by a weak tongue,
Yeah.
there are exercises that focus on strengthening the tongue muscles,
Oh, interesting.
preventing it from obstructing your airway during sleep.
So no more floppy tongue blocking the air.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, what about if the soft palate is the culprit? Are there exercises for that too?
Of course, the program has specific exercises for each type of snoring.
Awesome.
In the case of the soft palate,
Yeah.
the exercises focus on firming up those muscles,
Okay.
so they're less likely to vibrate and cause that snoring sound.
So it's like giving your breathing muscles a workout.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love that.
And the best part is the article mentions some people see results the very first night.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that common?
Well, everyone is different,
Right.
and results will vary depending on the severity of your snoring,
Sure.
how consistent you are.
Of course.
But many people do report a noticeable reduction in snoring
Okay.
after just a few days.
That's encouraging. And, for anyone listening who's intrigued by this personalized approach
Yeah.
and wants to learn more about which exercises might be right for them, I highly recommend checking out the Stop Snoring and Sleep Apnea Exercise Program website.
Yes.